Question is not what's happening, it's what are we doing about it? There seems to be a... Yes, this is what hair looks like when it's like going really thin. Anyway, I want to get that fixed. So everybody's like crying or whining about something, but what are we doing to fix it? Right? Let's just take example number one. Why are there law enforcement officers running around in masks? Excellent question. The answer is because if you saw their face, they would be doxxed and their family would be in danger. Because cartels have bounties on them. So people will want to collect those bounties, and they're trying to avoid that. So now, there would be absolutely no need, none whatsoever, for those men to be out in the field at all if criminal, illegal aliens were detained. So they wouldn't even have to be there. But, so they're going to the places that are not detaining them. And there you go. That is the problem there. In a nutshell. And, you know, and this is my honest, I don't care if they're here. I don't. But I understand the repercussions of them being here. Like, I don't care. Come here. Make a better life for yourself. Have your kids, you know, grow up in a better place than you did. Fine. You know, don't take advantage of our kindness. At the exact same time, you know, if you can build a business, build a life here, more power to you. If you get caught, I've got zero sympathy for you because that was your choice. So, you know, you being sent back home is the repercussions of you entering the way you entered this country. I have no fault for you wanting to come here. I have no fault for you, you know, upset that you have to leave, but you got to go, you know? And if you would just go, we wouldn't need any of this, all right? I don't care about the resources you take up. If you know, it's pennies on the dollar compared to how the, you know, military-industrial complex takes from us on a, in the state of California alone, takes from us on a annual basis. You know, and that remains the state of California, you know, $30 billion, and I still have tents a block away from me. $30 billion. That's a lot of money. Yet we keep raising those taxes, and there's no goals that anybody has to meet for solving the homeless crisis. Why would you solve something that's, you know, gotten you $30 million? I get it. I want to start my own homeless charity. Get in on that. I can hand out tents, sleeping bags, clothing, snacks. I can do all that. I can do that. Get, you know, $1,000 a pop per person I come in contact with. Why not, right? Quit the job that I have now. You know, give out 10 things a day. I'm done. I've made my quota for the day, for the week. You know, I don't want to be greedy. You know, hand out some tampons and maxi pads and call it a day. Just, you know, take a little photo of them. Say, here you go. This is the person I helped today. I can even like virtue signal with it, all the while making $1,000 per person and having absolutely little to no effect on the situation whatsoever. It's amazing, you know. And now that we have overwhelming evidence is really starting to stack up that not only did our city mayor and the governor and the fire chief and just about every Cal Fire, just about everybody involved with having to do with fire in LA County, you're finding out that they knew what was happening, they knew what was going along, and the plan was to let it burn to begin with. So there you have it. And now people are going to sue the state, and they're going to get more money than they ever needed to rebuild. So, and they will take that money and they will move away and say, fuck it, I'm going to go buy a fucking ranch in Montana, and you guys can Skype me, watch my podcast from there. All right. What we have to understand is this is not Democrat versus Republican, black or white, immigrant, citizen thing. This is a wealthy group of people dividing people with much less money than them to fight one another, because once we realize how much they're stealing, taking from us on both sides of the aisle, in the tech industry, in the banking industry, and the Federal Reserve, once we realize how big the grift is, heads would roll. There should be people, we would have to have like some type of amnesty, like you're not going to go to jail, but you're definitely going to live away from society for the rest of your life in the best, go anywhere, do anything you want, prison. Well, not anything you want, but you will have no,
come on.
You'll be banished into society. Yes, I would have anybody who is like ripping off the U.S. taxpayer. You don't send them to jail. You send them to like a fucking island where they can have like no cell phone, no telephone, no communication, no television. You'll have all the food you want and all the, but you're not, that's the only way you can get them to, turn on one another. Say, hey, look, we're not going to send you to jail. We're just going to send you a really nice permanent Club Med. You know what I mean? Fuck, put them on a cruise ship or have them sail around the ocean for the rest of humanity, Put them on a fucking ocean liner and just let them drift out at sea for ever and a day. It can happen, right? But yeah, we have to admit when we're wrong. We have to acknowledge the evil doings on both sides. It's not just one group over another. It's a conspiracy between the haves and the have-nots. And they're dividing us. Physically, economically, pigment-wise, you know what a real construct is? Race. Race is a social construct. It was made up by 3 guys in Germany. I couldn't even tell you what their names are. But they had their, how can we categorize us to differentiate us from the rest of the world who doesn't meet our standards of perfection. And that's what happens when you guys all eat it up. You are culturally different, and you are, uh, it's not geological, it's geographically different. But, this is just sun protection. Some people have better sun protection than others. The darker you are, the more sun protection you have. So we need to stop saying race. That's the construct. And once we can all stop saying that, just think what else we can all stop doing. And maybe we can get together and solve the world's problems. But let's just start with that one thing. Wow, that was a long way to get there, isn't it? All right. Cheers.